All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome in to a brand new show. I mean, it's not every day that you get to launch a brand new show, but that's exactly what's happening today. So I hope you guys will all hang in here with us, check it out, and see what we got going on. Because generally, what we do on this channel is we talk exclusively Georgia football. But I've told you guys since the very beginning that if we had other stuff worth talking about, we would certainly do it. And one of the things I wanted to do was also keep an eye on what was happening in the SEC. And I thought, what better way to do that than just hanging out with my brother's show, Joe Powers, and talk a little college football as we get ready for the weekend. So every week, you can look forward to seeing me and Show hang out here together to talk a little college football, everything across the landscape, but we're going to pick every game in the SEC schedule every week and have a good time in the process. Joe, how you doing this evening?
Man, I'm doing good. You see me looking over here to my right, your left, I guess, if you're looking at the screen there. I'm trying to get some Georgia State football on the radio here at WRBJradio.com.
Never not working. See, this
Yeah,
little
never
window,
not
that's a
working.
little window into to what's happening over here on this side of things, y'all. We are never not working. We are always doing something. But we're doing it because we love it. You love it, right, Joe?
Oh,
You
yeah.
love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We do it because we love it. We do it because it's fun, but we also do it because we like hanging out with you good people. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Tonight, like I said, we're going to talk about a little college football, but let me just be completely upfront with you about this thing. Y'all, listen, we know the season's about to start. And when the season starts, especially when you're talking about picking games, everybody wants to know who's healthy, who's not healthy, all that kind of stuff. And the injury report comes out. Let me tell you what, this duo you see right here, these two, we are getting it done. But I know, I'm not going to speak for you, Joe. You can make your own designation. I am as day to day as it gets, friends. Let me tell you, you could probably hear it. I mean, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I have been fighting the good fight. Joe, what are you doing? How are you doing?
Man, I took myself off of the pup list today. 2 days removed from a total knee replacement on the right knee down here.
Attaboy.
I am compression socking it up and taking as many round little tablets as I can find. And I got plenty of water in my hospital cup here. And we're going
Oh,
to talk some football because I need to show you how it's done. And we're going to bring it from the heart of Georgia right here in the DUB.
hey, when the lights come on, we ready to go. That's how it is. That's how we do it in the Powers Hour. That's what this show is
That's
called.
right.
That SEC Football Powers Hour. So you have the brothers Powers sitting here doing nothing except shooting and talking a little college football. So if you want to do that, hang in here with us. Hit us up in the comments because we will be interactive. We will answer your questions. This is a free for all, so invite your friends. We're going to have a good time every week right here. So at the beginning, like I said, this show, we've been kicking around the idea about what to do and how to do it because we wanted to have a good time with it. And we were trying to just figure out the best way to do it. And finally, I just called Joe this week and I was like, listen, let's just do this thing. And we pulled it together and here we are. Joe, what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea? Is this a good adventure?
Yeah, I mean, I love it, because on my show, which we focus on high school football, as you know, if you guys that have
Yeah.
been watching Dan Beast Media, we focus on high school athletics most of the time. And I got Rob and Ben East over there, who are big Georgia Tech boys. And so they're always talking about the Techies. And, I just kind of hang out. I don't get into that tech conversation a whole bunch, but now I get a chance to talk about some SEC stuff and shoot with Randy a little bit here about it, and just talk about what's going to be fun, and that way I can give my brothers Easts over there some crap when they get back in here tomorrow night and we start talking about ACC and high school football.
Oh, man, I'll tell you. And I'm so happy to see some of my usual suspects jumping in here too.
Yeah,
Harry is in
what's
here.
up?
That's great. Harry, good to see your friend Matthew's in here. He's saying what's up. He's got a question for us already, Joe. He's like, as a college football fan, as a Georgia fan, do you cheer for the SEC or is it screw Florida all the way? Well, listen, nothing trumps screw Florida. It is always screw Florida every day, every way. And there's no other way to do it. That's the only way I get down. Now, I don't know that I can adequately explain how much pride I have in the SEC and how I still want everybody to lose except for Georgia. How does that? I don't know how I do that, but that's how I feel. So there you go. I don't know, Joe. You got any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to pull for Florida. I mean, if I could tattoo anything on my body, that it would probably be
That's
Florida,
right.
because that's what I would tattoo on my arms. But I just,
That's right.
I have I have coworkers that run peers of mine that work out of Gainesville, Florida, and if I'm not working Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, giving them crap about some Florida Gators, then I just don't know what I'm doing at work.
Oh, I'm telling you, that's the only way to get down. That four little word with a little
Yeah.
asterisk in there. That's how you got it. That's a good story, y'all. Our first Georgia Florida game. I was at Georgia at the time, and we went down for the '97 game. Donnan, Kirby Smart, Robert Edwards, that game where we beat Spurrier for the first time in forever, and we were all there together. And needless to say, there had been a lot of pregame libation. We were getting ready for the event, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
And some of the people who were in our group were really, really headed
Really
down that
ready.
road. And somebody handed them some body paint or some shoe marker. I don't know, something. They started writing on their body, and sure enough, there were no asterisks involved. It was all the words all the time. And somebody, I don't even know who it was, somebody came up and said, listen, boys, somebody put an asterisk on some of those words. Otherwise, they won't let you in the stadium. So we got edited in real time on the way to the stadium that day. I'm just saying. We had a good time, though. We had a good time, though. I'll say that much.
They may have edited the words on our body, but they did not edit the words coming out of our mouth.
No. Those voices were heard that day.
Loud and clear.
There's no doubt about it. It was so sunny. The sun was right here all day. We were so high up in the stadium, but that's okay. That's all right. We had a great time. It was a good time. I see Harry in here. Now, Harry, I can maybe trump this one. Harry says he's been busier than a one-legged man in an arse kicking contest. Man, I'm on vacation right now. But Joe hit me up with something last week I'd never heard before. It might be the best one of these I've ever heard. I think he'd even give you permission to steal it. Joe, what was it?
I told him, I said, I'm busier than a one-armed man in a kayak contest.
Now that is busy. That is
or busy. Or Harry busier than a three-legged cat in a kitty litter kicking contest. That's a good one, too.
Oh, that is good stuff right there. But you're on vacation just in time for football watching season, which is how we all want it. Tim's in here with me. Tim, thank you, man. I saw your message last night about feeling better. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support. Always here doing a great job on the channel. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Every day is Hate Florida Day. Every day is a great day to hate the Gators. Fred's in here with us. Brock Bowers, he says. Let's get this on the screen because I love some Brock Bowers appreciation. Brock Bowers is the beast of the East, and even going to try skills at run back. He said he's willing. He's like, give me the ball. Give me the rock. I'll do it. I saw some high school video of that boy the other day that I hadn't seen before, and he was in some 7-on-7 camps. He looked like a grown man. He's not a big dude. He's not as big as his pads make him look. He's rocking those Stevens County High School 1990s pads that are sitting up here. So, but Brock really isn't that big. But I tell you, he made those dudes he was going up against as a 17-year-old. He made them look small. And all I can say once again is I'm glad that boy is a Bulldog. There's no doubt about that.
I hear you. I wouldn't want to hit that boy at all.
Tim's in here with us. Welcome in, Tim. He's like, I'm only just SEC when Georgia's out. There you go. That's all right. I mean, I think that makes perfect sense. At that point, if your team's out, there you go. Hopefully, we won't have to be out for a while, though. Can I just say that? I'll just say that. All right, so let's keep this thing going here. I'm getting hung up on these things, and that's good. I'm glad y'all are here. Thank you so much for being here. If you don't mind, hit the like button, tell your friends, share this out. We're going to have a good time, I promise. So that was the genesis. That was the genesis of this show. We just want to come and talk college football, and I wanted to. Joe and I don't live in the same town, and because of our schedules, like I said, we stay busy. This is a wonderful way for us to, keep that brotherly thing going because we miss each other. It's fun. So I think before we actually get into picking the games, though, I think what we ought to do is sort of take a spin around the conference. Okay, so before I do that, Joe, just go ahead and tell me, like, as a football fan, I'm not going to say you're a casual football fan, but you don't follow it as much as I do. I mean, like, you're just busy. So here's the thing, though. If you think SEC 2023, what do you think about the conference this year?
Well, the things that pop into my head when I talk about SEC with my friends, or if I'm just thinking about football, as you're casually rolling through events that you might talk about in some media capacity, Tennessee pops into my head as something that I'm interested in this year. And of course, I'm interested in the fact that Alabama doesn't seem to have a quarterback right now, and I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. The other thing that I'm curious about is I actually am curious about Texas A&M, and the only reason I'm curious about Texas A&M is because Andrew Monaco, who's the voice of the Aggies, is a good friend of ours and
Name
joins
dropper.
us on our. Yeah, he joins our show quite regularly when he can. So I'm always interested in kind of Texas A&M to see what the 12th man crew is doing out there. I think that they're going to be a player in the conference this year. Actually, we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but
Yeah.
that's really all that pops into my head. I'm not concerned about Florida. I was laughingly concerned whether Vanderbilt would get the win last night or not because it's Vanderbilt. And I'm curious to see what
Against
Tennessee's going to
Hawaii?
do.
Against Hawaii,
Yeah,
you mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
That scoreboard had me concerned. Did you see what they were doing on the scoreboard?
no,
The stadium, they're rebuilding the
no.
stadium, and good on them for them trying to improve everything. But dude, they had those big like skyscraper building cranes, the ones that are huge.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple of those parked out at one end of the field, and they had the big scoreboard hanging from like tie down ropes swinging in the wind out there
Wow.
from those cranes. I was like, that who approved that? Which dude in HR or in the law offices of Vanderbilt said that's a good idea?
That's a good idea. We can get by with this. It works.
They're supposed to be smart up there, man. Holy cow. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't, dude. It got all the run on the socials. I'm just telling
I
you.
was laying in a hospital bed. I didn't see any of that. I was worried about drinking water.
I know. Your toughness is well documented on this show. We will come back to that over and over and over as much. Yeah. So all right. So let's spin around the league a little bit here before we actually pick these games. So some of the headlines that have come out so far, the biggest game of the weekend, I think most people would agree, is LSU and Florida State, and they're going to hook it up on Sunday. But headed into that game, LSU's best play, well, what some people consider their best player, Mason Smith, has been suspended by the NCAA for what they're calling improper benefits. In the age of NIL, this dude is being retroactively suspended by the NCAA. He's going to sit out the most important game, potentially, of their regular season, all on some technicality because the NCAA wants to be relevant. Thoughts?
It's absolutely Bush League. And if there's anything that tells you Florida State is going to have a chance in this game, it would be that. And I were to tell you, if I were to bring Jeff Cameron on, who's our friend from the Florida State coverage in there, he's a warchant.com. You can find Jeff Cameron's show, love him to death. If I were to bring him on here, he would say that that's Bush League too, and that's just BS. And there's no reason that in today's marketplace, if you will, that somebody should be retroactively dinged because of something like that. I mean, it is absolutely Bush League, and it makes me think that there's something set up for some reason for the SEC and LSU to lose this game and have a scapegoat answer as to why.
Oh, look at you, conspiracy.
Yeah, I'll say it all day long. Yeah.
Man, see, I can't go that far. I think that LSU. Well, again, we'll pick these games here in a minute, but I think that Florida State, because of where they've been. Now, I love their coach, and they finished last year great. But until they go out and do something, consistently over the course of the season, they got to prove it to me. That's where I'm at right now. That might give you a sense of how I'm leaning on that game as when we get to it later. But I just don't. In the age of NIL, for a guy, who when they brought it to the NCAA's attention in the first place, right? They self-reported, and then you're still going to do that. I'm not down. It's for
garbage.
That. Yeah, I'm not down for that. Y'all don't mind Joe. He's not being rude, man. He's running a radio station over there. What do you think about that? Multiple things.
Just over here.
Yeah, just off screen. Don't mind the man behind the curtain. He's over there.
Don't mind that. Don't mind that.
Yeah, don't look at that at all. So, all right, Joe. So Mason Smith not going to play against Florida State. So, I mean, I hate that because he's a defensive lineman. I'm an old defensive lineman. I would love to see good defensive linemen play. But he's not going to be out there. We'll see if Travis and the boys can take advantage of that and beat those Bayou Bengals. Go Tigers. I don't know about that now. But there's a game about to kick off here in about an hour. Florida is on the road out in Utah. Now, I'm not jumping the gun, but there is some news about this game. And from the I can't believe this bucket is what I'm about to share with you now. Utah, this game, whatever. Say what you want about the Gators and Utah, pick the game, whatever.
Yeah.
Utah is down 2, not 1. Utah, give me 2 quarterbacks. They are
But
down 2 quarterbacks. Cam Rising tore his ACL in the Rose Bowl last year. He's not fully healed, and so he's not going to go. They had a backup ready to go, right? This is a Division I program. They've got good players. How this happened, I'll never know. In their second scrimmage of the
oh
year,
my God.
somebody got Johnny Rocket up his butt, hit the quarterback full speed. That dude suffered an injury, something internal. Kind of, they went hockey on us. They didn't tell us exactly what
Oh
the
no.
injury was when it happened. That's right.
Oh no.
And now he's out for the entire year. So you don't have Cam Rising. You don't have your backup. So the Utes are going to be taking the field tonight against those hated Gators with a walk-on quarterback, and they're also going to be missing like their top tight end. So I mean, they're doing everything they can to let Florida have a chance in this game. I don't know. What do you think about it? I can't believe they purposefully let them go full speed and hit the quarterback in a scrimmage. Somebody lost a scholarship that day. That's all I can imagine.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Just all I need to hear is that guy, it don't see him anymore. Somebody's got to kick him off. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I mean, that's absolutely crazy. And actually, if you can look over my shoulder here, that's my scoreboard for the big game of the night that we always have up in our studios here, and you can see the home score there is 20-18. So that tells you who I think is going to get the dub tonight.
Oh, okay.
I still think Utah is going to find a way to win. I hate Florida that much.
Well, you get extra points for that. Harry's with you. He's going with a baseball score. He's like 3-2.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to fumble. We'll have like 12 punts in the game, something like that. I don't know. But I am interested to watch it just because of the brands that are involved in the game. I do like that Utah team. I like what they do. I like how they play. But I could not believe that when I heard that about their backup quarterback.
To quote my favorite basketball quote of all time, that's terrible.
Terrible.
That's terrible.
Terrible. All right, so here's something else that could be completely terrible. All right, you mentioned Texas A&M earlier. The whole offseason, people have been talking about Bobby Petrino coming in and taking over play calling opportunities at Texas A&M, taking them away or whatever from Jimbo. Now, everybody wants to know, is this going to be a good thing or a bad thing? What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be a good thing, and I haven't had the opportunity to talk to my friend Monaco about this particularly. Yeah, particularly. Hey, don't forget Chris Blair at LSU is a good buddy of mine too. But anyway, I think that it's going to be a good thing. I think that it will help give focus to what's going on there at Texas A&M. And, I think Petrino's got some offensive mind about him. So I think it's going to be a good thing for Texas A&M. And one of the reasons why I think that Texas A&M is going to be a silent problem for people to deal with there this year in the SEC.
They could certainly step up and bite somebody. There's no doubt that they have talent. I don't know that they have the depth that they're going to need. But as far as Petrino and Jimbo are concerned, honestly, I've said from the very beginning, it's going to go one of two ways. It could be an implosion, and it's going to flame out dramatically, or an explosion, and they are really going to be better because Petrino is a good play caller. They both know the quarterback position. They should be able to get this thing. Everything says that they should be better on offense. So I think with all that said, that they will be better. I think it's going to work out just fine. Petrino doesn't have any more options. This is his last chance. Jimbo, if they win 8 games might still get him fired. I mean, that's just how it is out there right now. They need 10 wins. So I think it's going to work because they both need it to work, right? They're grown men who don't want to lose a paycheck. So I know they're getting paid well, but at the end of the day, I think they're going to make it work. It might only last 1 year, maybe 2, but I do think it's going to work. And Harry's like, I have the Aggies ruining, a hopeful season. I think you're probably not far off. I mean, they could step up and bite any one of those teams that might be considering challenging in the West. No doubt.
Yeah, I'm thinking for all those reasons. I'm thinking because of and I really do think it'll be a one and done. But I think that you're going to see it's going to be an explosion, not an implosion coming out of Texas A&M this year. And, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, but that's who I picked to win the West.
Oh, wow. I was about to ask you, Like, who do you think they might step up and bite? But no, okay, well, I don't know. We'll get into that when we get down the road. You can tell me how that's going to go. But that's in A&M. Look at that, people. We're
Out of
not coming.
nowhere.
We're not coming with chalk on this show. That's not
No.
what this is. This is not chalk over here. We're doing something different. So okay, there's one other big topic, and there are other topics around the conference. Okay, Carson Beck's going to start at quarterback at Georgia, but everybody knows Georgia's supposed to be pretty good, and they're going to overcome it. Ole Miss, we don't know what to make. They got like 12 quarterbacks in that room over there in the Grove. So, I think Jackson Dart's the guy over there, but we'll see. And there are some other questions around the conference, but the one
Yeah.
that everybody wants a beat on that nobody has a beat on is the quarterback situation at Alabama. Now, there's three guys that we think are probably, it's going to be one of those three. So it'd be Jalen Milroe, who started a game or two last year in replace of Bryce Young. Ty Simpson, who some people may not know is actually the son of UT Martin's head coach, who Georgia is playing this week. So Ty Simpson is also in the running at quarterback over there at Alabama. And then there is the transfer from Notre Dame, Tyler Buckner. Now, I don't think anybody's good money is on Tyler Buckner to get any meaningful snaps over there, at least not to start the season. So I don't know. You got any thoughts
Right.
about who's going to play quarterback at Alabama?
No, I really don't. I mean, I think your guess is as good as mine would be, and I don't think that you're going to have any indication until the first game starts. As you know, Coach Brainiac over there didn't release any depth roster, any depth charts or a roster,
Yeah.
anything like that. So
Yep.
I don't think that anybody's going to know until game one. And I think Saban's absolutely not going to just, drop it. Oh, by the way, this is going to be your starting QB, especially since he didn't give you a depth chart. So
Yeah.
I just don't think you're going to know. And I think he's going to cycle through them. And I think that's going to be part of a problem for Alabama this year.
Really?
So,
You think he's going to play them both early in the
yeah,
year?
I do. And I just don't think that you have, if you're going to do something like that, you got to have really, and I don't know these kids, okay, but I think you got to have just a special kind of chemistry and a special kind of players, not just one. They both have to engage and be just that blue chip kind of understanding player. And that's just so hard to find. I don't care how good you are. It can't work if you don't have all the right elements in place.
Yeah.
And as good as Saban is, or if he wants to be over there at Alabama, I just don't think you're going to be able to do it. And I think it's really going to be one of those things this year where you're going to see Alabama. It's hard to say Alabama and struggle in the same sentence, but you're going to see them not perform to their best, and I think it's going to cost them. That's why I'm looking at somebody else in the West. So,
see, now I look at it a little bit different, and I might eat my weight in crow this year because of this pick, which is also hard to say. But at the end of the day, I wound up picking Alabama to win the West, and I did that basically because I believe in the superstructure of Alabama. I believe in everything that makes Alabama Alabama. And yeah, they had some issues last year, and there might have been some cracks in that superstructure, but I think it holds together. I know that Milroe is a talented player, and with an off season, to work on his skills and do those sorts of things, knowing he's the guy, and the fact that they're going to adjust the offense to fit his skill set, knowing he's the guy, I think Alabama's going to be good enough to get it done and win the West. Now, could that be wrong? Absolutely. Last season, before the season ever kicked off, my beautiful bride sat right here on this couch and told me Alabama's going to lose at least 2 games and they might lose 4. Now, think about what happened last year, and she couldn't have been more on. She's like, this squad, she pointed to the offensive line last year as her motivation for that pick. But she said, this squad doesn't look like the Alabama I know. Now, she hasn't made a prediction this year, or I would go bet some money on it because, you nail it like that, and I'm going to listen to you. But you're not alone in thinking that Alabama's, got some issues over there. Yeah. I just believe in, like I say, the overall essence of what Alabama is, but I could just get that one dead wrong this year.
Yeah. Well, I just think there's too much that is going to be in this season, just period. There's going to be quirkiness that goes on in this season. And, I can't explain why I think that or where it's going to come from, but I just think this is going to be one of those seasons where it's going to be like, what the what happened Saturday?
Yeah.
Where you're going to see those type of things happen.
Yeah.
And I think that there are many variables, some of which we've already talked about. You look at the lineman, defensive lineman issues we talked about already here. You talk about, the quarterbacks that have been hurt at Utah. You talk about the situations going on there at Alabama. You talk about other teams in uh, like Texas A&M, like I was speaking about a minute ago, and what's going to go on there with Fisher and Petrina. There's just so many things that are just quirky, that are unusual, that are going to be playing out this year, that I think it's going to be interesting, and you're going to see some things that are just abnormal, if you want to look at it that way. They're going to unfold this year. I'm all about the abnormal, and I'm all about it here in 2023.
At this, well, we are on the precipice of everything changing, right? Going into next year. This is a
Yeah.
huge
Yeah.
period of change in college football. Why not just throw everything out the window
Right.
and let's have a wild ride here before we blow it up and do something different?
Yeah.
The only thing that makes me uneasy about any of that is that Georgia's wearing the crown. And when you talk about chaos, you're like, just keep it away from my squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I think it's
hey,
all in the West. I really do. I mean, the only thing that you're going to see out of the East that's going to be surprising to me is, or the only thing that I'm looking to discern, is what's Tennessee going to do. That's
yeah.
really all that I'm looking at on the East, and nothing else on the East seems uh, too crazy to me.
Yeah, and I've it's well documented over here on my opinion of Tennessee. I think Tennessee's going to lose 2-3 games this year. I don't see how you can lose the impact level players that they lost, given that they have not had the opportunity to recruit and have dudes in the pipeline. I think they're going to feel that a little bit,
Yeah.
and they're going to maybe take a step back. But like you said, it's interesting because if they get it right, if it actually is a plug and play system, then it's not going to matter. And they're going to be able to ding some people and be right there in the conversation when Georgia goes to Knoxville.
Well, let's see. Let's just see if our brothers think alike here. You see me doing this little
Yep.
thing here.
Yep.
If Tennessee takes the step back, who do you think is going to be that team that steps up?
Oh, see, this is easy for me, man. I almost put Kentucky at number 2
That's
at SEC
exactly
Media
it.
Days,
Yeah.
but I didn't. I just went with Tennessee because again, I was like, all right, Tennessee, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But that was a month ago. I've looked and read up on Kentucky even more than I had. If I had to make that vote today, and I guess technically I could still officially change it, they hadn't kicked it off yet. I might put Kentucky at 2 because I really like their quarterback. I like their weapons
Yeah.
at wide receiver. They're going to be extremely physical. And here's the part that's going to blow your mind. 2 points right here. One, how is Tennessee supposed to be a team that's going to challenge in the SEC East or in the conference when they don't have
Yeah.
a single player on the preseason all SEC squads? So think
That's a
about
good
that.
question.
And then
Yeah.
secondarily, when we're talking about Kentucky, that Vanderbilt offensive line that we watched last week, which allowed made room for like 1 point something yards per carry in that game against Hawaii. That was the same offensive line that they had last season. That dude that was in Vanderbilt last year ran for 1,200 yards, transferred his little butt over to Kentucky behind that angry offensive line they had.
Yeah.
They've got the running game sorted. They've got talent at wide receiver. They've got a quarterback I trust. They're going to be physical. That Kentucky team could very well end up at number 2.
Yeah. I mean, I love. That's why I was pointing at the blue here on my shirt. I mean, I'm all about Kentucky. If Tennessee is just wobbling and spins out, then Tennessee is going to fall off. It's got to be Kentucky that's going to jump up there and be number 2. And I'd be happy to see it. I mean, I got friends in Kentucky too, so I'd be happy to see it. They won't beat Georgia, but they're going to give Georgia all their worth.
Oh, it's
No
going
doubt
to be.
about that.
It's always a physical game, but in Athens,
Yeah.
I don't think they could do it. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a physical game, no doubt about it. And Harry points out Kentucky lost several offensive linemen. They absolutely did. But I also know that that's one position that they coach it the right way, and with that veteran that they have taken over at quarterback, that could help them navigate that, especially early in the season, because he's going to know where to go with the ball, get it out of his hands, and that sort of stuff. So,
Yeah.
but that's going to be interesting. Kentucky and Tennessee for me. I mean, flip them. It'd be just fine. You flip flop them, no problem. All right, let's move into the meat of what this show is all about, Joe. Let's take a look at the SEC schedule for this week. Week 1, none of this week 0 business. We're talking about week 1. All right, so here we go, and this is going to be pretty straightforward. Now, I am not a gambler. Ask my brother. Ask him. He'll tell you. Randy ain't taking.
Totally not,
dude.
No.
If I know the answers before I ask the questions, that's how it goes.
I, on the other hand,
roll
them if you got them.
Yeah, he'll let it ride. So, like I said, we are not coming at this from the same place. But now, so Joe, you have complete leeway as co-host on this show. If you want to take the spread into consideration and making your picks, you go for it. That is not what I'm doing. I'm picking the games straight up. Who's the best football team on the field? That's what I'm going with. So as we move through this season, and here's the thing, y'all, and chime in if you see this on the replay or throw it in the comments in the chat now. What we're thinking about doing is coming up with a little trophy, a little prize, a little something here to see who's going to be the champion of this little pick'em over the course of the season. And we'll see. I've got a couple of ideas. If you have any good ideas for a trophy or something like that, we ought to do.
I'd love to hear it.
Drop them in here. I've got one that I'm feeling pretty good about. But if you got one, drop it in the comments or in the chat here and let me know, because that's something that who doesn't want something to be like, yeah, but who got the trophy? Who got the thing? So, we could talk about that at Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever. So a little fun between brothers, no big deal. All right, so let's pick these games. All right, so tonight, Thursday the 31st, we have inside the conference, Florida taking on Utah here on ESPN in just a few minutes, and South Dakota is rolling into Missouri to take on those Missouri Tigers. So let's start with Florida, Utah. Joe, who you got? Tell me why.
Utah.
God.
I've already told you. I'm going to take Utah, and I'm going to take them by 2, 20-18. And the reason why is I just think Utah is at home. It's Thursday night. It's going to be, something fun. Florida's not going to do well on the road. They're just not going to do well on the road, and they're going to lose. I think they're going to have the opportunity late in the game to go down, kick it, and win it, and they're not going to be able to get it done. So special teams ultimately will cost Florida tonight. It'll be Utah by 2, 20-18.
All right. So I agree with you. I think Utah's going to win. Now, if Utah's healthy, no, they're not. I mean, this is all about Utah. It's not even a close game. Right. But Utah is not healthy. They are on the opposite end of the bench from healthy. I heard Kirk Herbstreit a little while ago on here say, there's the big bad SEC out here taking on Utah. He's like, all Florida needs is to get a little confidence, a little swagger. No, Kirk. What Florida needs is players, and they don't have them right now. Yeah. That is why Utah is going to win this game. The only reason it's close is because Utah is beat up. Like I said, I also like the Utes. I am on the Utah Utes tonight to beat the Florida Gators. I don't know if I have a prediction. With that walk-on, Harry's prediction might be right. 3-2, that's not bad. I could live with that. But I think I think I'm going to keep it low scoring. It's something like maybe 17-10 or something like that. I think along the lines of scrimmage, Utah is going to be physical. Defense is going to be good. It's going to be hard for Graham Mertz in Florida to do what they want to do. So I'm with
y'all.
Utah.
Just go ahead and take a snapshot of the screen right there behind me. Going to be 20-18.
That's what I'm saying. Utah. Joe didn't even step on it. He just took a swan dive off the limb. He's like, whatever. They're just going to do this. All right, so South Dakota and Missouri. Well, who you got, Joe?
Oh, man, that's a harder game to pick for me, actually, because I just see Mizzou as being a miserable football team. I don't know if they're set to be miserable this year or not, but, I don't have any confidence in those boys. I am going to give them the dub tonight just because I'm going to favor the SEC over South Dakota. Is that who they're playing?
South Dakota.
Yeah. So I'm going to give the SEC the dub tonight.
All right. Well, I'm with you there. I'm on those Tigers, but Eli Drinkwitz and the Tigers. I do think, that defense at Missouri was pretty doggone good last year, and I think they're going to be as good or better this year. They've got a little pop on offense. They did lose Lovett to Georgia, but I do think that they're going to have some players. I think they're going to be better than some people think. When we were talking about the East and who's going to finish where, I could honestly see them beating South Carolina and ending up in that 4th spot in the East, somewhere in there. So I think Mizzou's a pretty good football team. I think Mizzou beats South Dakota, start the season 1-0. That gets us into Saturday. Now, this is a game. It's kind of a marquee game. It looks good on paper. You love the logos. Man, they're pretty. They're playing in one of the best cities in America. They're going to play this game in Nashville. But Virginia is squaring off against Tennessee. Who you got?
Man, that's going to be, the wavering about Kentucky or Tennessee starts early on here, and Tennessee is ranked. I think that they're going to come out, and I think they're actually going to struggle. Like I said, I expect them to be volatile this year, and I'm scared to do it, but I'm going to give Tennessee the victory in a very close ball game. I'm going to give Tennessee the victory.
Hey, listen, if it's close, you were talking about craziness in this season. If it's close, those Volunteer Ridge runners are going to lose their ever-loving mind. And they're going to be calling for Nico Alava to come in and play quarterback instead of Joe Milton, because Tennessee should handle Virginia. This is not a good Virginia football team.
Yeah, Virginia's just not good.
They're not good. So Tennessee should get this win. If it's close or sideways, whoa, I'm telling you, Knoxville will melt down. So they can't wait for an excuse to see Nico play. So that's what I think is going on there. And just to spin this forward a couple of weeks, when they go to Florida, Katie bar the door if Tennessee goes down to Jackson or goes down to Florida and loses that game. Because, I mean, Milton's been saying he's like, I don't lose in the state of Florida. And everybody thinks Tennessee's supposed to be a good team, but Tennessee traditionally does not win at Florida. So I'm saying if Tennessee loses that game, look out. It's going to get ugly up on Rocky Top. So that's enough on that for now. We're both on Tennessee. So far we're in agreement. Utah, Missouri, and Tennessee, Ball State, and Kentucky, Joe.
I think this game is going to be close early. I really do, just because it's a fun rivalry kind of game there early in the season.
In Kentucky, both Kentucky State,
Yeah, but I think Kentucky pulls away from that game and wins it comfortably.
Yeah. This first week we're not going to be breaking too many necks here when we're picking these teams, because there's not many that are going to be that challenging. I'm on Kentucky too. Like I said, I just think they're too big, too physical, too much SEC right there. That's all Kentucky Wildcats. So then we have Western Carolina and Arkansas. Woo pig. Now listen, I am dog through and through, okay? But if there was a team inside the conference that I'm going to root for, it's the Arkansas Razorbacks. And that's not just because I love Sam Pittman. When we were growing up, I don't even know if you remember this, Joe. Dad used to pull for the Arkansas Razorbacks when they were out in the Big 8 way back when. And so growing up, I was like, yeah, a pig? That's a pig? So I have followed Arkansas forever. I kind of like their colors. So, yeah, man, I want Arkansas to do well, especially now that Pit Boss is out there. So for me, I am absolutely taking Arkansas to win this game at home. Western Carolina, I want to, growing up in Northeast Georgia, I want to say, look out for the Catamounts. I'm just going to walk away from that and say, nope, Arkansas gets it done.
Well, I was toying with the idea of what would be my surprise game in this Saturday lineup and in this segment, this show we have here tonight. And I am going to stay steadfast on the fact that this is the game that I believe the Catamounts are going to play Arkansas tough and well. And I actually think that the Catamounts can come away with a victory here. I'm going to pick the Catamounts to come away with a shocking win, because it's going to be a goofy year. And then Arkansas is going to be able to compete later on. But this is going to get them out of the gate with a bloody nose. And I think Western Carolina comes in with the dub.
Wow. I know Arkansas had some issues on defense last year, so I'm just, man, I still see somebody's got to win this thing, though. There's got to be some separation, right? Yeah, we got to split it up. I applaud you.
Well, being in Middle Georgia here, I wanted to go with Mercer as my upset game, as my flip game, right? But I just, no. Mercer's a good program, okay? Coach is doing good down there.
Yeah.
But they're not going to beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm moving on to that next one. I got Ole Miss. They're going to play all 12 of them quarterbacks. That might be an exaggeration. I don't know. I think Jackson Dart's the guy for Ole Miss. Spencer Sanders is, but why would he transfer in to sit the bench? But Jackson's been good. I think they will play more than one quarterback, but it doesn't matter. I think they have Mercer outclassed right here. and I think that game's going to go all Ole Miss. Quinshon Judkins, not only is that dude a great dude, but he is quite the running back. So they're going to have a field day, I think, against Mercer. Now,
Mercer
Harry
is a good
jumped in
football
here.
team. Good program, though.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're doing
Harry
a good
jumped in
job.
here. I'm going to put this on the screen real quick, Joe, just because I mean, when you make a prediction like you did, it's got, you know, that's going to get some attention. And there you go.
It would. It would get white hot, Harry. I don't disagree with you at all. I just think that, you know, this is one of those games where I have and now in full transparency, I have a love for Western Carolina. In my fraternity brothers up there in that particular college, and you know, some time that I've spent up there, I just like the campus, love the atmosphere up there. So there's a little, you know, non-football love that I'm throwing Western Carolina's way here to beat Arkansas. But I just think Arkansas is, you know, they're one of those teams that can absolutely fall in their face. They can do it, and I just don't see why 1 o'clock on this season and this opening week it wouldn't be a good place for them to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and give Carolina the love.
Yeah, well, I mean, who thought Texas A&M was going to lose last year? Was it App State got Texas A&M last year? Nobody saw that coming. So there you go. Now, Tim, I don't want to put words in your mouth here, brother, but are you on Mercer? Are you taking Mercer in that one right there, Tim? I mean, if you are, like you said, this is a show where chalk doesn't hold. There's no doubt, dude. Power to you. You're taking those mighty Bears.
Hey,
look at that.
They've got a good program going out there, Mercer. You know, coach is doing a good job out there. He really is.
Yeah, Tim. He's doubled down. He's like, "That's me. That's right.
Yeah.
You didn't read it wrong."
I hear you, Tim.
Good, go,
do it, brother.
Go, Tim. There you go, man. If that happens, if you hit on that one, then we might have to give Joe, or you might have to send me your email address or something. I don't know. We might have to send you some stickers or something because. We got some stickers. We could send you some stuff. If you hit that one,
swag, brother.
That one, you don't even have to put a bet like, you know, down in Vegas. We just send you some stuff and be like, dude, you earned this one because that's
right.
That's right there. Oh, now, Harry, see, this is what we're talking about. This is a family show. Check it out right here. Harry's like, I understand where you're coming from. I had a late uncle that was a punter at App State.
Yeah. Yeah, I love my Catamounts, man. I mean, I got love for the guys up there, but and I'd like to see them get a big win like that for the program. It'd be awesome, and you know, it's just squirrely enough in my head to see where it's possibility. So I give them the love.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was looking at some of those games earlier and picking which games we might take a look at that are outside the conference. I saw Gardner Webb was playing this weekend, and I was like,
Bulldogs.
Yeah, Gardner Webb is playing App State this weekend, and I was like, that would be a fun game for us to pick. You know, App State and Gardner Webb. I mean, how many people did we know that went on to play at Gardner Webb and places like that? You know, so those are some cool. It's good to think about where you come from, man. That's some good stuff right there. All right, so he is on
first college that recruited me was Gardner Webb, so I got some love from them. Yeah,
there you go. The Bulldogs, the mighty Bulldogs. All right, so here we go. Moving it along. Auburn and Hugh Freeze, they got a freeze warning over in Auburn, Alabama. They're bringing in UMass on Saturday at 3:30. Oh, who we got, Joe?
For the love of the SEC, Auburn win this ball game.
Yeah,
that's the only way I know to say it. I mean, you got to beat UMass. You got to beat UMass.
Yeah, can't mess around right there. You got to make that happen. Yeah. So yeah,
if they lose that, I'm just going to be like, God almighty, you know, why are you even playing in the SEC?
It will be interesting to watch that game, though, when you're bouncing around during commercials or whatever, or when the dog steps on the remote, whatever happens, however it goes down. Flip over there and just see who they got playing quarterback, see how he's doing. I don't think Mr. Former Spartan is going to set the world on fire over there. It's going to be interesting to see what they do at QB. So, there you go. What is this? What? Look at this. Harry. Now, Harry, I know you're being
UMass.
I know you were jesting. You were
the Minutemen
pulling my chinny chin here. I mean, that's come on now. But I hear you though. You know, Auburn. Let me just say this about our household. I hate Florida with the power of a billion suns. But with that said, my lovely bride holds that same feeling for the Auburn Tigers. So there are two programs in this household that we amp it up for. That is Florida and Auburn. So it's almost worth it to me if Auburn took that one on the chin. Holy cow. But I'm just saying.
And I do admire Alice's hatred for Auburn. I do. I really do.
It is so honestly earned, man.
Yeah.
And Tommy Tuberville is the reason. Well, that's a story for another time. We can get into that later.
Yeah.
That's fine. But it is real. There's no doubt about it. All right. So moving right along. Mississippi State and Will Rogers, the Cowboy, are taking on Southeastern Louisiana. Now, before you make your pick here, I just want to let everybody know Will Rogers, not only is he a record setting quarterback in the SEC at Mississippi State, not only
Yeah.
is he a really good dude, boy has some like drip to him. He rolled up in the SEC media days. He had some of the coolest socks and shoes. Like he had a nice suit. He was smooth, y'all. I mean, he's got some swag about him. So if he's out there slinging it around and throwing for scores, don't be surprised. It ain't nothing new to him. Will knows what's up. So let me have it, Joe. How are the Mississippi State Bulldogs going to do?
They're going to come out against Southeast Louisiana State. They're going to look like a Cadillac, man. They're going to come out there and they're going to be throwing it around. They're going to score big, and you're going to hear a lot of talk about it on ESPN for the next week.
Oh, of course you are. And it's a great story, right? I mean, with what happened with Mike Leach, and you want them to go out there and have a good season this year. But again, they've got some good players, and somebody had to be picked last in that conference or in that division in the conference, and Mississippi State was that team just simply because of all the churn that they've had. But everybody wants Mississippi State to have a good year, as good as they can possibly have. There's no doubt. All right, that brings us to them dogs, UT Martin and Georgia. There's not even a line on this game, so see, Vegas knows we got it right. Who cares about the line? We're picking the game. We're not thinking about this one long. Dogs, wolf.
Yeah, not going to be close. Be searching for another game halfway through the second quarter.
Not me, but okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a runaway.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to look good. I just want to see us. What I was saying, how I'm going to judge this game is not on how much they score or numbers or statistics or any of that. The way I'm going to judge this game is, are they sharp, right? Are they focused? Are they committing a bunch of penalties? Are they turning the ball over? Are they, can they execute getting in and out of the huddle? Can they get on and off the field? Can they make the road to all that stuff?
Don't want to see stupid penalties. Yeah, exactly. Don't want to see those kind of, out of play penalties and just stupid stuff happen.
Right. I want to see the mechanism of the machine operate at peak efficiency. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Because if they're doing that against this competition, then they're going to be fine.
Yeah, and I want to see reps from, second and third line guys. I want to see reps early in the season and execution so that can happen quickly.
That's right.
That's what I want to see.
That's right. I'm with you there. Okay, Joe, now we are back over here to Jimbo and Bobby, right? So they've got New Mexico. The Lobos are rolling into College Station to take on Texas A&M.
Yeah, and, it's a 7:00 game. It's at Texas A&M. It's not a question. The 12th man's going to be there doing their thing. And we're going to see, do they sputter out of the gate or do they explode out of the gate with this Petrino and, situation over there. But I think they're going to come out and they're going to, again, it's going to be like we were mentioning up there a second ago with what's going to happen with Mississippi State. You're going to see Texas A&M come out and they're going to be dominant and flashy, and you're going to see a lot of talk about it over the next week. That's what I think.
Okay, because I'm looking at Texas A&M the way I'm looking at Georgia. Can you do the little stuff right? Can you be efficient, clean? Can you just run the offense, know what you're supposed to do? That's what I want to see. With the new OC, I want to make sure they're only hearing one voice and they're doing what they're being coached to do. So Vanderbilt and Alabama A&M, I don't think that's going to get a lot of eyeballs. I'm on Vandy. Joe, where are you?
You see me shaking my head here. I'm just like, I don't know, Vandy. No, I think they'll come out and they'll handle Alabama AMU, and I think that they'll, kind of right their ship for a minute and get the dub. But, they'll probably win by 10, 14, something like that.
Okay. And then Middle Tennessee State is checking in with Alabama over in Tuscaloosa. Now, there's going to be a lot to watch here. There's going to be a lot to talk about, good or bad for Alabama. That's another one that's going to be on everybody's lips next week. I mean, obviously, I think Alabama's going to get the win here. I am going to be interested in who's going to be the quarterback. I think it's going to be Jalen Milroe. So we'll see. But that's who I'm going with.
7:30 kickoff game here. I think that the Vandy game is going to be a bore. I really do. Texas A&M is going to be handling the Lobos there. So I think Alabama is going to be a game that gets a lot of eyeballs for the same reason. People are going to want to see the quarterback situation. And I actually think it's going to be a tight ball game in the first half. I think Alabama's going to come out there and kind of work on some internal things, but I think that just going to be a close ball game. Alabama will get the win in the end, but it's going to be one of those things people are going, oh, you're going to see some social media chatter about it early on because it's not going to be a runaway, I don't think, for Alabama.
Right. And if I'm wrong and Milroe plays bad, that's going to be all over. It's going to be trending in a heartbeat. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah, they avoid that upset bid. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And then that gets us to probably the marquee game of that time slot, which is North Carolina, South Carolina. Now, I see this as being really evenly matched, just giving South Carolina credit for the athletes that they have and knocking North Carolina for the fact that they couldn't stop a sneeze last season, right? That defense was atrocious, but Blake May is a lot of fun to watch. So I think I'm gonna have to go with. I think I'm gonna go with North Carolina here. Yeah, I want to believe that physically South Carolina is going to be able to run the football, make a play on special teams, and get it done. But that quarterback at North Carolina is something else. He's something else. And if they can protect him, I think they would outscore South Carolina. This could be my first L right here. I might miss this one.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of torn in this game because I've got some words about UNC that I think, are going to play. They're going to play big in the ACC this year, and they're going to be a contender. So I think it's going to be interesting. But at home, 7:30, Beamer has been building that program, and he's been working hard. And I think he's going to come out this at home 7:30 first week, and he's going to get a staple win here for his program. And I think Carolina's going to come away with the dub.
All right, man.
South Carolina, that is.
Yeah, that's just good. Well, we know in the SEC when you say Carolina, we know who you're talking about. Yeah. We know who you're talking about. But that's one of those games that if that happens, it's only going to crank up that hype machine for when they come into Athens. So,
and I just think, and that's a good lead, into that game right there. But I really do like the way Beamer's been building his program over there. Yeah. He's been doing it, I think, the right way, and I think that you're going to see a lot of that now. It could be that he takes it on the chin and it's another hard season, but I don't think that's the way it's going to go. I think they're going to come out and do well.
Well, they've overperformed each of the last 2 years, and it's hard to keep overperforming. People start to expect it, which is what you're saying. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, I'm full of hands to the sky. I know I might miss on that one, but that's where I'm at right now. All right, so here we go. The big game, probably the biggest game in the country this weekend. LSU, Florida State. On Sunday night, ACC SEC power matchup here. Now, there's a lot we could say about this one, but they're playing it over in Florida. And just real quick, they had the hurricane roll through this week, so we hope everybody down in Florida, South Georgia, coastal Carolina, we hope all you people are doing great because, man, it's just always harrowing when something like that goes on. So just know that we're thinking about you, wishing you the best. LSU and Florida State. Who you got, Joe?
All right. Well, I mentioned early in the show here, I've got some ties to my boys down there in Seminole country. Yep. Jeff Cameron and his crew and warchant.com there. I could have him on the show right here and he would give you the truth about it, right or wrong when it comes to Florida State, good or bad. And this game is going to be a ball game for me. I actually think that FSU comes away with the W here. I really do. I think FSU is going to get the win at home. I do. And, it's squirrely of me to even say that because I've got, high hopes. Chris Blair would shoot me if he heard me say that right now at LSU. But I think FSU is going to make the conversation what everybody wanted the conversation to be this offseason about. They've got all this money and they're wanting to move and, all of that hype and blah, blah, blah. They're going to come and make that full throat and they're going to get a big win early in the season here. And I just think that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to tell you, like I said, Florida State's going to have to show me. So I am on LSU, and that'll become evident a little bit clearer as we head to the end of the show here. We've got a couple more to knock out before we get out of here, but I'm on LSU. I had LSU as potentially winning the West this year, and I'll explain why I think I have LSU here on the back end, but I'm on those Tigers to beat Florida State. on Sunday evening. Now, that's the SEC schedule, and we covered some of the biggest games right there, but I did want to get your quick take on a couple more just from around the country that everybody's going to be paying attention to. So, Colorado is taking on TCU. That's that same Horned Frogs team that the Dogs eviscerated in the national championship game. Prime and his Buffaloes are taking on TCU. Who you got?
Colorado.
Oh, man, that hurt my feelings. I don't think Colorado wins 3 games this year. I'm on TCU.
Yeah, say Colorado.
Okay, all right.
I know it's crazy there in Colorado, but I think everything TCU had was wrapped up in that quarterback they lost this year, and I think Colorado is going to come out and get that opportunity to stand up before they get mowed down the rest of the year.
Okay. Hey, I was going to ask: is this because of Dion, or is it because of you just think they got better players, but you think it's the Dion thing?
Yeah, I think it's a Dion factor, and I think that it's just first game. It's either going to go off the rails hard, or he's going to have the opportunity to put something together. And I'm going to go with it's not going to be off the rails yet in week 1.
Okay,
that he's going to get the dub, and then it might go off the rails.
Okay, all right. So yet again, we go different ways. That's cool. I'm on TCU there. All right. So since it's in the footprint, and this is a holiday weekend, let's take a look at Louisville and Georgia Tech at the Dome there in Atlanta. So who you got in that one?
Well, my boy Ben is going to be there for that one. The Rob and Joe show will be Rob and Joe, as Ben will be sitting up there in the bins. And I'm not a Tech guy really, but I'm gonna give Tech the dub anyway.
So. All right. Well, I am also not a Tech guy. I think everybody knows that, but I do think they're going to be better, and I think that's a direct reflection upon Brent Key. I don't think that Louisville's going to be very good this year. Georgia Tech gets the win. That's my pick there. And then on Monday night, extending out this long college football weekend, Clemson and Duke, also in the footprint. One of the teams I think might win the ACC. Who you got?
Don't steal my thunder. I got Duke.
Oh, Elko. You are on Team Elko.
I think Duke's going to get the dub, and I think that Duke is going to be, if not the winner of the ACC this year, they're going to play for a championship in the ACC.
Holy moly. That would blow my whole thing up if that happens right there. Everything goes out the window if that's the way it goes, just so we're clear. Yeah. All right, so we got Joe down for the Dukies. We both agreed on Georgia Tech, and you took the Buffaloes, the Fighting Deons. All right. That's fine with me. I like it. Okay, so now let's bring it back inside the footprint here, back inside the conference. Right. Let me know. Who's winning the West? Say it again for the record.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. You love the marriage out there at College Station. Texas A&M wins the West. And in the East,
it's an explosion for 1 year. Yep.
Okay.
And Georgia wins the East. Yep.
Georgia wins the East. All right, so Aggies and Dogs in Atlanta. Who you got?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, the Dogs are going to beat the Aggies. I mean, it'll be a game where you're going to see Carson Beck kind of come to full throat and have a great game, and you'll see a big hoorah from that. But it'll be Georgia over Texas A&M.
All right. Well, like I said, you were swan diving off that limb. I'm here for it.
It could be the medication, but that's where I'm going.
I'm here for it. I am all here for it. All right. So give me, if the Dogs are going to win the conference, tell me who makes your Final Four.
Oh, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Final Four. Let's see here. I'm going to go, have my notes here. I'm going to go Georgia, USC. I'm going to go
Southern Cal. You're saying Southern Cal.
Yeah. Southern Cal.
Georgia, Southern Cal.
So Georgia, Southern Cal, Michigan.
Okay.
And I'm also going to go. I have even in the time of this show, I have contradicted myself in my notes versus what we said on air.
Yep.
So because of that, oh man, who's going to be that wiggle when the end?
Do you need a do-over? Do you need a do-over? Is the ACC tripping you up? Is that what's getting you?
Yeah, the ACC's tripping me up because I wrote Florida State down. I was like, I can't believe Florida State's going to win it. But, oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. So I would either have to change my Dookie win, or I would have to give Florida
Well,
State.
no.
I'm gonna
Duke. I mean, Duke could still
Dookie
beat
gets the
Clemson.
win. Okay, then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with what I have written down. Then I'm gonna say Florida State is my fourth team.
Florida State. All right. So Georgia,
So you got
Southern
Florida
Cal,
State, Michigan, Southern Cal, and Georgia.
and okay. All right. Well,
How
make
about
sure you
that?
keep that. Make sure you keep that napkin. We got to come back to it at the end of the year.
Yeah,
See
got
what's
it
up. Okay.
written down right here.
So I can't ask you if I'm not going to do the same. All right. So everybody knows I had to make my pick. Well, I didn't have to make them public, but I did. So I picked Alabama to win the West. I picked the Dogs to win the East, and then I picked the Dogs to beat Bama in Atlanta to get in, as the conference champions here in the SEC. Now, my Final Four, I have Georgia, Michigan, Clemson winning the ACC, and then I have LSU as the fourth team in.
Wow. Okay.
So what I think happens is Bama beats LSU, gets to Atlanta, the Dogs handle Bama, and it's not that close, maybe 2 touchdowns. LSU sitting there with the one loss to Bama, they get in that fourth spot ahead of, say, Ohio State or whoever, right?
All
so
right.
that's where I'm at. Georgia, Michigan, Clemson, LSU. And yes, I know it pains me to say Clemson,
All right.
but I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go with the standard picks there. I went a different way. Well,
Yeah,
I got to tell you people.
Same way.
I got to tell you people, this has been fun. I have had a good time. We are right up against an hour. We're going to be here every week, and we're going to do our dead level best. We're all day today. We're going to try to be here for you every week, and we are just going to do the same thing. We're going to wash, rinse, repeat. That's what we're going to do, because there's nothing better than talking about Southeastern Conference football. You can't get enough of it. This show is a fun show. We hope you had a good time. We had a good time. Bring your friends back. Let's keep them in the chat here. Harry, Tim, everybody else who popped in here tonight and had something to say to us, thank you so much for joining us. This was a great time. I appreciate everybody being here with us. And until next week, I'm just going to have to leave this show the way I leave every show, which is go Dogs.